Okay, students, we are going to create the unit circle using the two special triangles that we learned about. So you're going to cut out just the little triangles and you're going to label them appropriately. So we know we've already reviewed that it's a 45, 45, 90. And we know the leg lengths are radical 2 over 2. And the hypotenuse, of course, is 1. We're dealing with a unit circle. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So label both sides exactly the same. And then you're going to do the same thing for the 30, 60, 90. So we have our 30, 60, 90. We have the 30-degree angle is pi over 6. And pi over 3 is the 60-degree angle. The shortest side is 1/2 across from the shortest angle. And then we have radical 3 over 2, which is our second largest side. And then, of course, our largest side is our hypotenuse. You're going to do that again on both sides with the 30, 60, 90. Okay, we are going to label angles in both degrees and radians, and then we're going to also find out what are these ordered pairs for these points that touch the edge of the circle. So let's go ahead and put some angle measures in, and I'm going to use this lame, actually in my video I used brown, so maybe I will use brown for this too, because degrees we're getting we're going to push those to the side. So we're going to say this is 0 degrees and 360 degrees. And then I'm not going to tell you these yet. You might already know them. This is our 90-degree angle. And then this is our 180 degrees. This is 270. And then, of course, we're finishing up here with that 360. So we're going to go ahead and mark these with our radian measures. And that's what we're really going to be focusing on. So this is 0 pi, and of course 2 pi when I get all the way around 1 revolution. This, let's see over here is actually just 1 pi. So that makes this 1/2 pi. So we can just put pi over 2. And then that means down here is going to be 3/2 pi. Okay, so we have those major areas already written down, and now we're going to actually identify those points. So the point here, right here, remember this is the origin and it's a unit circle, so it's got a length of 1. So this is just 0, 1. Oh, that is not 0, 1. My goodness. Help me out here. 1, 0. Okay, there we go. That's better. This is 0, 1. And then moving over here to the left, we have -1, 0. And down here, 0, -1. Now, I've uploaded for you a clean version of this. So this might get a little bit messy as we're going through. I tried to upload a nice one for you to reference. So now we're going to try to fill in all these missing parts. So the missing, what is this angle measure? What is this ordered pair? We're going to try to find all those spots around the whole unit circle. Now, the key here is the only thing you need to have in your brain, not the only thing, but for the unit circle are these two special triangles. If you know these special triangles, you can get to all these spots, okay? And we're going to see those patterns. So let's take a look first. We're going to put this little vertex right in the 0, 0, okay? And it's going to go along the x-axis, and hopefully you can see it's touching right at the edge, right where we were looking for that point. So let's see what the angle is. We can see it's 30 degrees, which we also call pi over 6. So I'm going to fill that in first. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in 30 degrees, and that is the same angle measure as pi over 6 radians. And now we need the ordered pair. So we know the ordered pair is, of course, x comma y. The x length is radical 3 over 2, and the y length is 1/2. So we're just going to write that ordered pair. That this ordered pair, this point, is radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. And that's the point right here. So we just measured this angle, and we found 30 degrees pi over 6. And this point, this location on the unit circle, is radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Okay, for the next one, grab your other special right triangle And this one is going to be our 45, 45, 90, which we're now going to be thinking pi over 4, and then pi over 2 for that 90 degrees. So for this one, we can see our angle measure is 45 degrees, which is the same as pi over 4. Let's take a look at the coordinates. It would be an x length of radical 2 over 2 and a y length of radical 2 over 2. And that would be the ordered pair for that location right there at that point. All right, kick out this triangle, grab that other one, and let's see here. So you might have to, that's why we wrote it on both sides, because you might have to flip it over to make it work here. So this one, we can see this angle is 60 degrees or pi over 3. So 60 degrees or pi over 3. 60 degrees, which is equivalent to pi over 3 radians. And now let's look at this ordered pair. The x length is a half, and the y length is radical 3 over 2. Okay, so we have 1/2, comma, radical 3 over 2. All right, now the good news is these are going to repeat in all quadrants, except for we're going to have different signs, SIGN. So we're going to be looking at this quadrant has negative, maybe we should write that in here just to be safe. So this quadrant, quadrant 1 here, we have plus plus. Over here we would have negative plus. Down here in quadrant 3 we have negative negative. And then over here in quadrant 4 we have positive negative. So obviously with those coordinates, those are going to be reflected when we do these. Okay, let's take a look at this spot right here. All right, let's see what we can figure out. I'm going to flip this little guy over again, and here we are. Okay, so let's think about what we're doing here. If we're looking at the measurement, if this big part here is 60, then how much is this? This part, this whole thing's a 90-degree angle, right? So that's just 30 degrees more. So let's think about this is 30 degrees more than the 90. So we got to think a little bit there. So we have from there, that would be 120 degrees. And then let's think about this as well. If this is pi over 3, then this would be a pi over 6. So this would actually be, here's 1/6 pi. This is really 2/6 pi, which is the same as a third, right? 3/6 pi is a half. This is 4/6 pi. 4/6 pi, which really we know what is 4/6 going to be. That's going to be our 2/3. So we're really going to want to write, I'm going to scribble this out here. We're going to want to write 2/3 pi. Okay, so then let's think about here. We have a negative 1/2 and a positive radical 3 over 2. So we have a negative 1/2 and a positive radical 3 over 2. Okay, we're going to keep going around and around with these two special right triangles. So we can see this one fits in again, and it's fitting right at that spot. So we know we're going 45 more than 90, right? So we have 135 degrees. And this is going to now, if we're counting by fourths, we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 pi. Let's take a look at our ordered pair here. We have negative radical 2 over 2, positive radical 2 over 2. Negative radical 2 over 2, positive radical 2 over 2. Okay, I want you to keep going around the unit circle using those two special triangles. Remember, one of those angles has to be touching that origin, and then one of the sides has to lay right on that x-axis. So you might need to flip the triangles around a little to get the right orientation. Remember, you have to land right on these points, and that's how you'll be able to tell the ordered pairs for those points. I have the PDF loaded up that has all this filled out, so you can check your work. Make sure you check it carefully so you have it correct. But remember, we are not memorizing the unit circle. We are just going to make sure we know these special right triangles and how to use them.